What's up, guys? So, I really love TFT, and we have Set 4 coming out on the PvE. Uh, I'm recording this on Monday, so it'll probably end up being out Tuesday in the afternoon, and this video will either be up on Monday night or Tuesday morning. And everything has been revealed at this point, I'm pretty sure. And I'm going to be going over all of it, so this is probably going to be a long video. I'm not going to try to get too in-depth on, oh, this sounds really good, because for the most part, I think I'm just going to have to play with whatever it is. So first off, with the new traits. Cultist, once your team loses 50% of their health, Galio is summoned, summoning into the largest cluster of enemies and knocking them up. They have said that like Supreme Overlord Galio has like over 7,000 health or something like that. This is essentially the new version of the mech, and it seems interesting. The fact that Galio comes in once your team has lost 50% of their health is interesting, because it means Galio's kind of coming in late, but I think it'll end up being pretty interesting, because if you can get like a beefy enough front line that's consisting of most of your team's HP, once they essentially go down, Galio will come out and be another tank and heal. I don't know how, it doesn't say how long the knockup is, or exactly what Galio does, but I'm assuming that it'll end up being pretty effective as long as your team is squishy. Next up, Divine. Upon attacking 6 times or dropping below 50% health, Divine units ascend, taking 25% reduced damage and dealing bonus true damage for the rest of combat. This seems kind of insane. Like, there's no Kale in this, which is kind of funny, because this is kind of Kale's thing of ascending, whatnot. So that's interesting. But I haven't looked at any of the champions' abilities, outside of like the first few listed on here. But like I can see Lux is on here, who is gonna be a mage, I'm presuming. Wukong is on here, who I'm presuming is gonna be a tank. Jax is on here, who I'm presuming is gonna be some type of bruiser. Aurelia is on here, probably also gonna be some type of bruiser. I think that's Warwick. Yeah, Warwick, Brawler. Jax is a duelist. Yeah, I can cover over. Lux is a divine Dazzler. Okay, this will be interesting. So yeah, I think you're gonna have like with this, if you want to go all of this, you're probably gonna like a lot of heavy stacking on one particular, and the rest will kind of be whatever. And because units have, when the unit goes below 50% HP, it's going to take 25% reduced damage. Essentially, it's going to have, and every unit is essentially going to have 125% health, or something like that. Or if you're taking 25% reduced damage at 50% HP, you're only stopping 12.5. You're only getting extra 12.5% total health. So you get 12.5 to 25% extra health essentially with this trait, in addition to the true damage. Dust champions increase all allies' spell power. 2 get you 20%, 4 gets you 60% for Dusk and 20% for all others, and 6 gets you 150 for Dusk and 50% for all others. This is very interesting. Like, there you got a Sharpshooter, Vanguard, Keeper, Lilia, Cassio. I don't know how this is gonna be. Don't know. Gonna have to kind of just figure out what combos of all. There's so many units that it would take me a while to just sit here and figure out what all goes together. Enlightened, generate more mana. I'm pretty sure if there's like one mage, a Dazzler, which I don't know what Dazzler is, remember. But all of these units, in the past, have all, with the exception of maybe Aurelia, have all enjoyed getting more mana, with whatever their abilities were. So I'm assuming that this will be, um, yeah, should be a fun thing. You probably wouldn't want to run all six of them, but it would be interesting. Elderwood. This is a or what was the old trait called? I forget. It was Woodland, I think, was what the old trait was called. And this is Elderwood, um, which is every 2 seconds all Elderwood champions grow, getting bonus stats. And this will stack up to 5 times. So after 10 seconds of the round, all of your units will be super strong. So this means that your front line lives for a pretty decent amount of time. Your front line's the ones that are going to be initially, taking all the hits. So the extra resistances don't mean they mean a bit, but they don't mean too much. Unless there's like ways to keep them alive, which there very well might be, especially like brawlers making a return. So that should be. But then your backline is gonna get a lot of extra damage. So even with like three Elderwood, your backline Elderwood is gonna get plus 15. No, my bad. The plus 25. My bad. I saw the 3 and multiplied the 5 by 3. Plus 25. And technically, if your frontline lives long enough, you'll get an extra 100 of armor and magic resist, which could very much be broken if those units don't insta-die. Elderwood is something to look out for. Elderwood is definitely something to look out for. Yeah. Exile. This is the old Exile thing from, I think it's season 1. Yeah, season 1, set 1. If you're not next to somebody, if your Exile's not next to an ally, they get a shield. And now they're adding Yonin as another Exile. Yasuo is going to be a 1-cost unit this time, and Yon's going to be the 5-cost. Very interesting. Very interesting. Because Yasuo is a 1-cost unit, he's not going to have that much HP, and he's not a tank to begin with. So, interesting. Fortune. Winning combat against a player will give bonus orbs. The longer you've gone without an orb, the bigger the payout. This isn't well explained what an orb is. I'm assuming the orb is just whatever, one of the drops, but it's like, I'm guessing it's not money, because if it was just money, they would have just said gives you money. In this case, it says it gives you an orb, so this can give you. This is like Space Pirates almost. It can give you. I'm assuming it's not money, because if it was money, why would they not just say money? It's worded very odd. So I'm guessing it might be able to give out items in addition to gold, or it might be able to give out units just like how any other loot drop would. And the longer you've gone without an orb, the bigger the payout, which is very, very interesting. So it incentivizes you to lose streak and then to win, which for the most part goes with theme. Like there's like outside of Tom, Kench, and Annie, it's Jinx, Katarina, Sejuani are 3-4-cost units that you could potentially see as carries. That once they come online, you activate this Fortune buff, and bam, you just get a lot. My only question would be then is you have to have Fortune in higher time to start stacking this, or is it just always stacking regardless of whether or not you have a fortune champ in? That would be the big question. Moonlight. This is a really neat thing. The start of combat, the lowest star level Moonlight champion stars up. There's 4 of them. You only need 3 of them to activate this, and it essentially is playing for the early game, playing for rolling heavily very early on to try to get 3-cost versions of these champions. Because if you get a 3-cost version of, if you have three-star versions of all these champions, one of them is going to become a 4-star. It's essentially super good, and like we'll just get into numbers later. Ninja. This is old ninja. Ninjas. If you have 1 or 4 ninjas, they will get extra AD and spell power. 1 ninja getting 45 AD and spell power seems pretty good. And Shen is probably gonna be. He's a 4-cost unit, and I have not seen his ability yet, so it'll be very interesting to see if he actually benefits well from this ninja bonus. Kanan, I'm assuming, is just gonna have his ult like before. And then yeah, I think Shade's similar to Assassin. Holly's an Assassin. So only one I'm really interested in is Shen, and then I'm interested in what combinations of 4 ninja with other stuff I can make. Spirit. The first time a spirit casts or spell, all allies gain attack speed based on the spell's mana cost. This is super interesting. You can pair these people with attacks, allies that want to attack fast, anything that's auto attack based, and in general anything that wants to like everything benefits from attack speed essentially. So, but seems interesting. Especially, you would essentially just want to like stack mana on them to make them all super fast. So, okay. Warlords. Warlords have bonus health and spell power. Each victorious combat they've participated in increases this bonus by 10%, stacking up to 5 times. Okay, so I do know how this works, because they've already said how this works. So this bonus stacks whether or not you have the Warlord buff activated. And then once it's active, it'll kick in for the buff. And this says increases by 10%, stacking up to 5 times. So you can get the bonus increased up to 50%. So if you have the full bonus and you've got 3 out there, you'll have 300 HP and 30 spell power. The spell power addition is very interesting. Because you can see that there's like a Zir here. Although the one thing is that you see that you can get like this huge bonus for a Zir and whatnot. If you have if you have 9 warlords, which there's only 7, which tells me that there is items to make summon warlords, which seems very, very, very strong. Just thinking about it, I don't even know what would go with it, but if I can just make any unit I want a warlord to get an extra 700 health and 70 spell power, and that bonus can increase up to 50% more, that seems pretty goddamn broken. But yeah, you see Azir. By the time you get this Azir out, normally in the past, or at least in the last set we just played, having a 1-star unit or 1-star version of a 5-cost unit was pretty lackluster, with the exception of certain ones being completely freaking broken on release, where you just got it and you won. But overall, like, this is your bonus. The Zir, like, getting the full bonus might not be super feasible. It'll depend. Depends on what some of this other stuff is. The Keeper, Jarvan's a Keeper. There's actually having 9 in, it would be pretty tough because it looks like the front line doesn't really work out too well. Okay. The boss. So this is Set. He's a special thing. When the boss first drops to 40% health, he removes himself from combat and starts doing sit-ups. For those of you that don't know who Set is, just look up his thing. One of his emotes in League is he does sit-ups. Each setup restores 50% HP and gives him 20% attack speed if he reaches full health. Returns to combat, pumped up, converting his basic attack and spell damage to true power. If all of his allies die, he will immediately return to combat. This is... I just reading this seems really strong. And in the game, the emote does not take that long for him to do sit-ups, so it'll be interesting to see how fast he does a sit-up. In this, it's just funny that he does sit-ups to get health back. Okay, but so if he drops below 40% health, he starts doing this. Let's say he's at 25% health. He has to do 5 sit-ups. Each of these sit-ups will... if he does 5 sit-ups, he'll get 100% extra attack speed. Kind of insane. And all of his attacks will now just do true damage. So, you're going to essentially rely on having a tanky enough team to survive long enough so that way Seth gets back in and doesn't fucking die. But he is a brawler, so that's pretty good news for him. Tormented. This is Kane. Innate. After participating in 3 combats, Tormented are given the option to transform. So it'll be interesting to see how this works. So Kane in League of Legends is a champion that after he stacks, or after he attacks people enough times, he stacks his passive, and he can either become a assassin version of himself, and his abilities are augmented towards that, or he can become a bruiser version of himself, and he becomes kind of a drain tank that deals pretty considerable damage. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly it means by given the option to transform. Very interesting. I'll have to continue reading. So now we get into the new classes, types, whatever they want to call them. Adepts. Calm the flow of battle, reducing the attack speed of all enemies by 50% for a few seconds at the start of combat. So it's like a Frozen Heart. Which Frozen Heart, by the way, is low-key, really good. It's a very underrated item. I don't know if it's still in the game or not for this set, but we'll see. In my opinion, it's a very underrated item. That just having one on frontline or one on an assassin can be very, very deadly to your. So this is a temporary Frozen Heart, essentially. And the fact that it says 4 for adepts when there's only 3 tells me that you can make someone an adept, which I don't think I would really care to make someone adept just to get the 2 adept bonus. 3 seconds doesn't really matter all too much. You can think of this. You can think of the 3-second thing as I'm making the enemy backline do a little bit less, or you can think of this just in the enemy's doing a little bit less damage, in addition to taking longer to stack their ult, stack mana for their ult. So against a mage player that is stacking mana on their champions, might not mean that big of a deal. But definitely the 3 adept bonus I could see being 3 adept bonus I can see being pretty useful. Although none of these go together. And the 4 I can see being more situational. I don't know. It seems strong. 2 doesn't seem like it's that strong. 3 and 4 seems pretty good. Assassin. This is similar to old Assassins, from what I understand. Before combat starts, Assassins leap to the enemy backline. Assassin spells can critically strike, and they gain bonus critical strike damage. Crit chance. Don't know if the old ones could have their spells critically strike, but that's pretty interesting. Yeah. I think Katarina's thing is her old alt. Don't know what Talon's thing is. I know what Diana's. 40% crit chance and crit damage. This doesn't really seem like it's all that much. You need less of them to hit the spikes, because I think in the past we've always needed 3 and 6. So this being 2, 4, 6 means it's easier to hit the benchmarks. But 10% extra crit chance and crit damage doesn't seem like it matters too much unless you're giving somebody, like, you can give somebody Infinity Edge, but if you give somebody Infinity Edge, then that kind of defeats the purpose of the crit chance being added on. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sold on this without seeing the unit. Brawler, 400, 700, and 900. Okay. There's 7 brawlers in the game. Most of them are fairly low cost. Okay. Who's brawler? Brawlers kind of struggled to find a place in the meta. My opinion. Okay. Dazzler spells reduce their target's AD by 50% for. So Dazzler is kind of like the opposite of Mystic. Kind of. Essentially, like, Mystic gives your team extra MR. Dazzler lowers the enemy team's AD, which can essentially be like giving you extra armor. 50% reduction is pretty strong. Obviously, this doesn't matter against anybody that deals magic damage, but that is also why duration is very long. Also, the units have to ult, and I think most of these units have AoE abilities. So that'll be pretty interesting. I think this'll end up being, hopefully, like how Mystics intended, as something that you just splash in. Duelist. Duelist move faster. Duelist attacks grant attack speed up to 7 seconds. This is pretty much like the new Blade Master, I feel like. Yeah, they get a free Rage Blade. So with 2 lists, you can have up to 70% extra attack speed. It seems really strong. Seems really strong. Especially, like, okay, so Fiora is a 1 cost unit, but when she isn't Enlightened, so when she gets her Enlightened generate more mana. Okay, are there any of them that are Lee Sin is divine, and he is a legendary unit. Oh, I think I know where he's going with that. Oh, Jax is also divine. That's really interesting because you only need 2 divine for the bonus. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, this is something to keep your eye on. I mean, it's essentially you can think of it like Blade Master. Hunter. Every 3 seconds, all hunters will attack the lowest health enemy, dealing increased damage. So it's Ranger, but different. The champions are going to be similar to Ranger. I say that, and one of them is a Warwick. Of course. Um, Interesting that it says that it's a 5. You can have 5. Oh, making somebody a hunter seems pretty useful because these don't really go together on the surface, at least. Like, I think you could see like spirit, something along with spirit and hunters be a thing. Um, and Elderwood is pretty interesting as well. I think the combinations of that'll kind of decide whether or not it's any good. Keeper. At the start of combat, keepers grant themselves and all allies a shield for 8 seconds. All nearby allies. When it says nearby allies, does it mean, is this essentially like the old locket where it does it in a hexagon around you? Or is it like the new locket and new Zeeks that it does it in a line around? But the shield for 8 seconds is pretty good. And the shield is 50% stronger on themselves. Most of these aren't really frontline. Kennen you kind of need on the frontline for his ult, I'm assuming. Riven is essentially a frontline unit. J4 is going to be a frontline unit. This is technically going to be but a 0 won't be. So interesting. And then my other question with Keeper is, does this stack? Can I have all my Keepers on top of themselves and them all apply a shield on top of them? Because if I can, then technically you could, in theory, have one Keeper surround. You could have one Keeper in the middle surrounded by all the others. You could have a unit with seven shields on them, which is 50% stronger. 50% of 250 is 125, so 325 times 7 is 2100 plus 175, which would be 2075. You could have a unit if the shield stacks, and you surround one unit that's a keeper with 6 other keepers, you can have a shield of 2375. So hopefully the shield doesn't stack, because having a unit with that much health, that's just that one unit too. That's not counting all the other units. So yeah, that seems like it would be kind of broken. Mages cast twice and have modified spell power. So do you need? So my question then is, it doesn't say that you need this activated to have them cast twice. The only thing on here is that they get extra spell power. Or no, I guess you would have to have it. I guess it would have to be activated to do that then. Yeah, that seems like how this would go. Okay. I mean, it's mage. We got Veigar again. There's TF in here again. Nami's in here. I think I already know what she does. Lulu's in here, and none of the like things go together. So like, Fortune is a useless trait unless you're getting all the fortune. Kind of like how Space Pirates are useless fate unless you're getting all the Space Pirates. We'll see. I'm not. We'll see. Mystic. Old Mystic grants magic resist. Zillion's in it. That'll be interesting. Shade. When combat starts, Shade teleport to the enemy backline, which is essentially Assassin. Every third attack, Shades dip into the shadows. If your third attack shades deep and dip into the shadows, stealthing and causing their next basic attack to deal bonus magic. Honestly, shades just seem like a better version of assassins. However, there's only 2+1. I'm not counting Kane as a shade here because he's a 5 cost. There's only 2 in the game, essentially. You can get Kane at the end stages of the game, but when we're initially looking at this, we're looking at it from costume. You're never like, yeah, I'm going 3 shade this game. No, you're so But it is something that you could easily splash in. You could have Cultist with Evelyn, and activate the 2 shade bonus with Zed, who also acts as a ninja. So that's pretty interesting. 100 bonus magic damage. You could just stack attack speed, and it says that it stealths, but I'm assuming that you unstealth when you attack. So it would just drop aggro, which can be really good. We've seen Bane either be hit or miss with the ability to drop aggro before. So yeah, I mean, it seems better than Assassin, especially because I can actually make use of Affinity. So Sharpshooter attacks and spells ricochet to nearby enemies, dealing reduced. So essentially, it's like Sivir. Or I guess you could think of it like Static Shiv. The two Sharpshooter things seem really bad. This seems bad. To the point where it's not I don't think it's worth, because it doesn't say that it procs on hit effects. Although it does say that spells ricochet. I don't know. If it procs on hit effects, then I'm much more interested in it. But like the 6 Sharpshooter bonus seems kind of interesting. Once again, 6 Sharpshooter, but 5. This will be very interesting once I get to items. Yeah. I mean, 4 seems like it would be good. 4 seems like it would be good. But I see this and I think, is this too similar to Blast? Like 4 Blaster and 4 Sniper oftentimes struggled to be useful, especially with assassins being very prevalent, at least in the past couple, especially like this last. I don't know. Vanguard, we got a yield Vanguard. Okay, there's a lot of low cost Vanguards in here, which is interesting. Then Emperor. Let's see. Yeah, Emperor's deploy with 2 additional units that can be separately. Troops rally to their Emperor when they cast and die when they're Emperor. So Azir is just gonna summon soldiers. Interesting. Okay, so on to what the units do. Diana, this is similar to how Diana's been in the past. Shields herself with the orbs. She shields herself for a few seconds and summons orbs to orbit around. So she shields herself first, and then shields herself again when the final one explodes. So you can see that she has four brackets here. That's because you can have a 4-cost Diana. Even like a 3-star Diana, technically get up to a 700 health shield, and do 500 damage. Huh. I mean, this seems pretty good for a 1-cost unit. Even like a 1-star version of this, 180 damage seems like a lot. Get a shield for 300. The one thing that I don't like about this is she is an assassin, so this shield might not matter. Doesn't say how much mana she. which would definitely make or break her. Yeah, we don't have mana. Okay. So definitely, like, because, like, I feel like you wouldn't want her ulting too early, because then you don't get the... Then you don't want the cost to be... like, if the cost is so low, that it's whatever. I don't know. I feel like the shield's either going to be super impactful or useless. Spider form, but I mean, the shield is seems super big. 300 extra health seems like a lot. Elise would transform into her spider thing. She'll get bonus health. So it's like Shapeshifter, but without Shapeshifter. Her attacks restore health. Also to note, she's a keeper. Her being a keeper means that she will give others shields, including herself, which would make it easier for her to spider form. Like an okay one cost. Fiora riposte. Yep, it's the same thing as before. Something that was really funny to do in past sets was stack Fiora with mana. And have her stack Fiora with mana and give her like a Gunblade. This was old Gunblade that would heal her for attacking us. And have her just keep riposting non-stop, and the enemies couldn't kill you because you were invincible when you riposte. And then you stunned them, and it was really funny. And with her being enlightened, she gets extra mana. Her being a duelist means she's attacks faster. Very interesting. Garen, Judgment. This is old Garen. He spins a sword. He reducing incoming magic damage by 50% and dealing magic damage to nearby enemies. 360 magic damage. Like a lot for a tank. Especially when the Diana that we just looked at was dealing 180. Her spells can crit though. But 360. I mean, Garen's only gonna ult like one or two times during a fight. And this 360 is over the course of 4. He takes reduced magic damage while he also gets more armor from being a Vanguard. He seems like a super good unit. Sandra hurls a dagger at her target's location, exploding into many daggers on contact with the enemy or when it reaches the destination. Final dagger deals magic damage. All enemies hit by the explosion are dealt magic. Hurls a dagger. Okay. I mean, it's her Q. But I would need to see how this works. I would need to see how this works because I don't fully understand what it means when it says explodes into many daggers on contact. Does the person that it hit take the initial and the secondary damage? When it explodes on contact, is it just going into like 3 separate daggers? Do those daggers explode as well? When it says that it reaches its final destination, does that mean that final destination tile is then split into 3 more daggers that goes 1 more tile? How far does the daggers go? It's not well explained here. He's a Moonlight Dazzler. Her being a Dazzler is pretty useful because you want targets that have big AoE spells, or Dazzlers want to have AoE spells to reduce their target's HP. But I don't know. I'd have to see how this works. It's not the wording here is not good without seeing. Maokai, Bramble Smash. Maokai smashes enemies in front of him, dealing magic damage and slowing their attack speed by 50% for 3 seconds. That's pretty good for an Elderwood. Yep. That's all there really is to say about it. The damage doesn't have to really be there. The attack speed reduction is what really matters. It makes sure that Maokai lives longer, so that way he gets tankier. Nami. Nami traps the closest enemy in a bubble, dealing magic damage and stunning them for a few seconds. 8-second stun. Okay, this is like Zoe, except instead of stunning the highest health enemy, we stun the closest. And her being a mage means that she can do this twice. Her being and you don't care about her getting reduced magic damage because that's not the point. The point is to stun him. The only thing I'd say is that you wouldn't want Nami to ult the same twice when she does this, because it could just mean the stun's wasted. So it kind of depends on how the mage buff works with that. I mean, like, okay, it seems okay. Enlightened seems pretty useful as well. Let me just let me refresh. Enlightened. Generate more mana. What? Okay. Seems okay. Nidalee. Throws her javelin at the furthest enemy, dealing magic damage plus 25% per hex. Okay, I will say while it's on my mind, 100% additional mana gained seems really bad. For having to go the full 6. I feel like it should be more than 100%. I feel like this should be more than 70%. And this might be fine at 40% because it should be very easy to just saying. It's just when you think about it, you think 100%, so that's just doubling your mana that you get. But depending on how like mana cost is eh. Okay, Nidalee throws her spear, dealing magic damage plus 25% per hex traveled. So does okay. What's Nidalee's range is my first question. Next question is, does her spear... It's just she throws up the furthest enemy, but can this spear hit... Can the spear hit someone that's in front of it, like a Caitlyn snipe? And then she's a sharpshooter, which would mean that this ability can ricochet its damage onto somebody else. Which seems... If this doesn't get interrupted by somebody else being in the way, this seems pretty good. Like, let's say this travels 4 hexes, we deal 300 damage, and let's say it ricochets 1 time, which would deal 90 damage to another unit. We have 2 sharpshooters. I mean, for 1 cost, I guess. Yeah, I think it's good because you're not gonna have. You know what, yeah, I think it's pretty good. And she's a warlord, which warlords get extra spell power for every successful victory they have, and extra health. So I think she's good. I mean, I'm gonna say everything is good, and then yeah, I mean, I think overall comparing her to some of the other stuff seems so far. Pike is supposed to be a 1 cost unit, pretty sure. Pretty sure he's supposed to be. Or 2 cost. Maybe he's a 2. I don't know. I think he's supposed to. I don't know. I'll check here in a sec. But Phantom Undertow. This is the old. This is the way the old pike worked. Um, I just saw this actually. Yeah, so yeah, deals damage, stuns people. Yeah, this is just like old pike. Okay, yeah, pike is supposed to be a 2 cost. But yeah, there's not much to say. It's just like the pike was from before. I will say, pike from before was kind of broken. Um, and I think these numbers are back to what it was when pike finally, like at the end of the set. I think these were the numbers for pike. I think. Tomkins ignores damage from all sources. So Tomkins just mitigates damage. So this is like Leona. Yeah, this is literally Leona, except we're not a Vanguard or a Brawler. Uh okay. 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 TF. Throws 3 cards, deals magic damage. Okay, this is probably pretty similar to TF is right now. Vayne, this is similar to old Vayne. Bank. Whenever Vayne basic attacks, the same target 3 times, she deals bonus. Okay. And what was Dusk again? I have to double check stuff. Oh, Dusk was increased spell power. Oh, hmm. How much are we doing? Bonus damage. Oh, we just do bonus damage. Even so, this is pretty bad. um, yeah, she seems really bad. She seems really bad. Bonus true damage. She seems really bad. Uh, I'm, yeah. Don't stack Vayne. Wukong slaps his target with his staff. Doing a percent of his 8 physical damage, stunning them for a few seconds. Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. You telling me I can stack my Wukong with AD and deal a shit ton of damage? Ooh. Ooh, Assassin Wukong? Like, super heavy burst Wukong that then does nothing against Vanguard? This is a thing. Wukong's probably not gonna have that much AD to begin with. He is a divine, which means he acts faster, or he divines are the ones that get the ascension. Not that he attacks faster, but he deals true damage. Dealing true damage seems pretty cool, but don't like you wouldn't want to stack this guy. He's interesting. A Vanguard that is trying to not be a Vanguard. Outside of the fact that he has a stun. Uh, let's tell someone I was busy. Okay, Yasuo. Strikes forward 2 hexes. Uh, okay. Eh. Whatever. Yasuo seems pretty bland. Annie blasts a cone of fire, dealing magic damage to enemies in front of her, then creates a spell shield for herself for a few seconds. So, what Annie is now. Being mage, I'm assuming that the shield can stack. Um, Aphelios summons a turret for a few seconds, an extension of his will. The turret counts as Aphelios himself when it fires and deals damage and dies. What? It should say as an extension of his will to make this. Or I guess it's just semantics on my point. But even still, this doesn't make sense. What is that? So it could last for 5 seconds. How much damage does this do? There's no information on this. I don't know. It seems really strong. Especially because Hunter attacks the lowest target. Which I'm assuming would also apply to the turret. I don't know. He seems strong. Ekram absorbs health from each adjacent enemy. Okay. Okay. Ekram seems good. Janna shields the lowest health allies. Attack damage. I like her. J4. Like, her being a mystic is really useful because her, like, ability is useful for the most part. Kind of, like, think Karma, instead of attack speed, you get AD, which obviously is not as good. But, eh. Okay, J4 strikes furthest target within 3 hexes. Okay, so normal J4, so flag and drag. Dealing magic damage. The magic damage hopefully isn't too much. Knocking up and stunning them for a few. Okay. It says that he goes through 3 hexes. I like Jarvan. The one thing that I don't like is that he's super and not event. Once again, though, if keepers' shields stack on each other, then keeper seems really broken. Jax. I mean, you're gonna pick up Jax if you're getting Divine and Duelist. Like, want to pair Jax with Lee, obviously, because they're both Divine Duelists. This is similar to old Jax. Yeah, old Jax was okay. I think with Divine and Duelist, he'll be okay still. Yep. Lulu, Wild Grove. As a mage, this is very scary. Very, very scary. Especially because the extra spell power that she gets from Elderwood makes this health bigger. Like, ooh. Ooh, imagine Katarina just gets an extra 600 HP and that happens twice. I like her. I like Lulu. I don't think she's overpowered. I like her. Silas, Chain Lash. Lashes out his 3 hexes, dealing magic damage to enemies hit and increasing the cost of their next spell by 40. So Mana Reaver. He's a brawler. That's a Mana Reaver. Okay, Mana Reavers have been okay in the past for their thing. Okay. I mean, if you're going Moonlight, I think you should pick up Silas. For sure. Probably. I mean, there's four Moonlight, but you would prefer to get 2 of the 2 cost Moonlights instead of both of the 1 cost. Teemo, Spirit Sharpshooter. Teemo fires a dart at his target that explodes into a cloud of spores, poisoning nearby enemies. Take magic damage. Okay, so it's like Teemo's Q in League, except it's AoE. Oh, and they're blinded. Ooh. Oh, that's kind of big. That's kind of big, especially because being a spirit, the spirit is the one that makes you attack faster. And if you're running a sharpshooter, oh, I like that. I like Teemo. I like Teemo just like he's CC and the spirit sharpshooter. Thresh, Vanguard throws his lantern to the lowest health ally, shielding them. Nearby allies. So old Thresh. The one thing is that he doesn't. Dusk does not seem that. At least on some of these first ones that I've seen, Dusk does not seem that strong. I mean, I think Thresh's playability will more so depend on Dusk than like that. That's going to decide whether or not Thresh is actually. You know, like you can use Thresh to get Vanguard bonus, I guess. But I'd have to see what some of my other Dusk units are. Hi, Warlord Brawler. Blast through her target, dealing magic damage to all enemies, and reducing their armor 6 seconds. Okay. I think it's pretty good for Warlords, Warlords very much are lacking line. There's no front line from the Warlords that go together. From what I've seen, there's no Brawlers, there's no Vanguards. There's Keepers, and there's Vi as the Brawler, and then Garen as the Vanguard. Those are low-cost units. They're not big tanks. So having this kind of helps. I don't know. I don't know. I think like what was the thing that had brawlers with it was like brawler sharpshooter or something like that? I don't know. Maybe you could do brawler. I don't know. But seems okay. I'll say that. Zed, every third attack Zed deals bonus magic damage, which he's a shade, so every third attacks for shades also deal bonus. I mean, with shade bonus, I think this is kind of strong because, like, let's say you have level 2 Zed, 2-star Zed with shade bonus activated. Every third attack is doing an additional 190, not just 90. He's a ninja as well, which would give him extra AD and spell power. So that's not being accounted for. So that is actually going to be slightly for the damage values. Holly, yeah, I figured she throws her things on the ground at her target. Okay, I mean she's a ninja assassin, so the spell can crit and she gets extra spell power and AD. Seems like a decent unit. Evelyn deals magic damage to up to 3 nearby enemies and teleport. Okay, so old Evelyn damage is increased. Okay, old Evelyn with the shade bone, or yeah, the shade doesn't really help her here, does it? Like, just don't give a shit about the shade bonus. I'm really questioning what's the point of like she stealths. She does stealth, which is great because it increases her survivability. But the damage on the shade bonus is pretty dumb. I feel like unless you just really stack attack speed. I don't know. I mean, old Evelyn was old Evelyn was a demon, which made her very problematic to balance. As demons were problematic to. Or I guess I don't know. I say that, but it was kind of like there was just like a couple patches in there where everyone was like, "Oh, Evelyn," and kind of all stopped. No, I like Evelyn stacking, but that's because she was a demon. She's not a demon anymore. I don't like her. I don't. I just don't think I like her. 300 damage. Okay, Aurelia. Aurelia launches a barrage of blades in front of her, dealing magic damage and applying on-hit effects. That might be interesting. She's an enlightened divine. Enemies hit are disarmed for a few seconds. So she's one of the first ones we've seen have 3 tags. Enlightened is Extra mana regen or mana generation. Divine is Ascension thing in Adept. Adept is. Slows attack speed. Okay. Adept being on Aurelia, someone that already has two traits, really strong. I think. Um, and they're disarmed too. I think Aurelia is really strong because she's seems kind of like Cassidon. I don't know. Aurelia seems super strong. One thing that I will say is that Adept lowering someone's attack speed doesn't matter if they're disarmed. But aside from that, seems very like just good for the traits. She could be super frail and Jinx, Fortune Sharpshooter. Next attack fires a rocket, stunning her target. Okay, do magic damage to her target. Oh, Jason then. I don't like her. Yeah, I'm not sold on the Fortune trait yet, and yeah, I guess Sharpshooter's bonus. But oh, okay. So one thing I will say is that her thing will ricochet this, which may make it so that everybody gets stunned by this, essentially. Which in that case, I would be sold for, if that's how that works. Ballista. Oh, okay, so we stack spears in people. One capable of dealing a percent of the target's max health. True damage. Wait, each one capable. Ballista will remove spears when doing so would kill the target. Oh no. Oh no. We've unleashed the beast. Oh no. Oh no. This thing is scary. I am very scared of this. Unless the animation of rending takes. But I don't like as it says each one capable of dealing a percent of the target's max health and true damage. What is this? Why don't you just say each one deals a percent of the target's max health in true damage? Uh, that I hate the wording for that because it makes it sound like so does it sometimes. Whatever, the wording on that is very poor in my. But oh, give her duelist, give her triple rage blade. Well, that's kind of troll, but it'd be funny. Um, yeah, this is scary. Uh, I say that, but it's probably not as bad as I would have making it out to be. Katarina. It's old Katarina. Old Katarina. Old Katarina. Old Katarina was strong. Fortune on Katarina is good because it's like a third side thing that you don't really care about unless you have Fortune with other things. Um, yeah, I think Katarina is a really strong unit. She has anything with three traits is always going to be super strong, I think. And Katarina in the past was very strong with the Warlord trait as well. Assassin giving her the ability for her spell to crit. Seems very strong. Kennen, Slicing Maelstrom. Kennen's a Ninja Keeper. Stuns enemies inside of it for 1.5 seconds. I like it. I like it. I think Kennen's just okay. And like him being a ninja kind of hurts you actually if you want to run. Like you can't have ninja and another ninja or Kennen and one other ninja. You'd have to go for the full 4 ninjas. Because the problem is Kennen doesn't make use of the ninja tag well. Kennen's like a support. Kindred. Marks the target, dealing magic damage, reducing healing by 50%. 5 seconds. I'm guessing this ability is going to have a low mana cost. Otherwise, if it doesn't, Kindred just seems garbage. But if it has a low mana cost, then you can give her like blue buff and whatnot. Okay. Lux. Lux binding. Fear of darkness towards the furthest enemy. Enemies in its path. It says light binding, and then it says fire is fear of darkness. I think that's wrong. I think the wording on that is very wrong. Enemies in its path take magic damage and are stunned for a few seconds. Honestly, I was a big fan of Lux. Lux was one of those units that you just put in, and it could just win you the game. And I was always just like, anytime they buff Lux, I was just like, why are we buffing Lux? Why are we buffing Lux? Because she's actually super good. She's also a Dazzler, which is a problem. Okay, she's Divine Dazzler. 2 problems with that. Those traits, not amazing. Okay? Here's why. Divine. Lux is going to take forever to proc this. She's not procking Divine. Literally, you're having Lux in the Divine... if you're running Divine, you might put Lux in if you want Dazzler. Or if you just prefer to fill up your bonus. But Dazzler... And so Divine doesn't really suit her well. Dazzler also doesn't suit her well. If we're lowering the target's AD by 50% for 5 seconds with 2 Dazzler, and we have a level 1 Lux on the board, for 1.5 seconds of those 5 seconds, they're not attacking anyways. So it doesn't matter. So your Dazzler effect with Lux is really only 3.5 seconds. So I don't like that. It's not terrible. It's just I'm sitting here like it's inefficient. And stuff that is inefficient I don't like, because I come from playing a lot of games and I like being an efficient person with what I do. Nunu. Deals additional and deals magic damage. If Willem's target has less health than him from before the fight, it deals an additional 50% and deals. Oh, so you're not a brawler. You're insane. Nunu's insane. Oh my god, Nunu's insane. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Veigar. Blast the lowest enemy. Magic damage. This kills the target. Gains spell permanently. Like permanent? Like to the next round permanent? Ooh. And when you take into the fact that he's a mage, oh yeah. One thing I will say, if you have 3 mages, they are double cast his up. Really only doing 100 damage. So then you have to ask yourself, is mage bonus worth? I mean, he seems interesting. Depends on mana cost and whether you can definitely all in on Veigar. I like that, but I don't think he's gonna over the top amazing. Zenzo sweeps around him, dealing percent of his AD and challenging enemies so they're taunted. That deals increased basic AD damage. Oh no, he just takes less damage from. But you're a duelist, so you just don't. While an enemy is challenged, Zenzo deals increased basic attack damage to them, and takes 50% reduced damage from all other sources outside of the challenged enemies. Okay, Okay, I can see Zenzo kind of being useful. I mean, he's kind of like a Yi. Kind of like a Yi. Okay. Yumi dashes next to a low health ally, healing them for percent of their missing health and granting them attack speed for 5 seconds. Then repeats this for this ally. The Spear and a Mystic. The fact that she grants attack speed while also being a spirit, which would also grant attack speed, seems very, very strong. She heals her health. Just heals 2 units for half of their HP. And okay, sure. For the most part, this will be activating on you have to position properly. This will be activating on, or I guess you don't have to position properly. She's gonna heal a tank. She's gonna run up and heal a tank, and then run back and heal your carry. Yeah, I don't know. She seems strong. Like, it depends how fast you can get the bonus, the ult off. Aatrox. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty here. After a brief delay, Aatrox pulls in the furthest enemies and slams the ground, dealing magic damage to all adjacent enemies. He's a Vanguard, so I think he can't be bad. The 4-cost Vanguard. I don't think he can end up being bad. Ari channels summoning large ball of energy, lobs it at her target, magic damage to all enemies. So it's like the current Ari. I'm confused as to the wording on this. So is this like Nico? It sounds like Nico. It's either like how current Ari is, in which case that doesn't make any sense. This seems like Nico. You're lobbing a big thing at somebody within 2 hexes. Wait, within hex that okay. This is a huge AOE ability, but it takes a second and a half to channel. So you need to protect her, but she's a mage. Her being a spirit doesn't matter here. Her being a mage matters because you get 2 AoE things. Okay, yeah, her being a spirit is just to proc the spirit bonus. Unless her ult just has like no mana cost, but I highly doubt that. Ash, Elderwood Hunter gains attack speed for 5 seconds, and her basic attack fire a flurry of arrows. Okay. So that's all. Okay. Okay. Cassio. Lacona magic towards her target, dealing magic damage to all enemies. Stunning them for a few seconds and causing them to take 10% damage while stunned. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Oh, and she's a Dazzler. Once again, enemies being stunned, all being affected by the Dazzle effect, is counterintuitive. Not efficient. Don't like it. But she's a Mystic and she's a Dusk. She seems strong. But her being a Dusk, like, Dusk needs to have something. Like, once I hit Riven, there needs to be something amazing with Jin converts each 1% of bonus attack speed every 4 shot. Okay, so it's current Jin, Sharpshooter. I think Sharpshooter on Jin seems pretty good. I say that, but it's like Runan. Yeah, it's like Runan. I don't know. Sharpshooter, I like it. It really depends on how good Sharpshooter is. Sharpshooter really feels where you just it's I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's worth it to have so many sharpshooters unless there's unless assassins aren't prevalent. There's like an easy way to protect your people. I don't know. You have to have four. You really have to have four. About four, it's just like, what are you not really using them? Morgana, Tormented Soil, hollows the ground beneath her target, dealing magic damage to enemies within over 5 seconds and shredding magic resist. Ooh. Now here's a good Dazzler. Here we go. And she's enlightened, so she gets this faster. Deals damage. What you have to remember here that this damage seems a little low, but he's shredding magic resist, so this is damage is actually doing more than what it's doing more than what it would see. Shredding magic resist, so technically it's just kind of even. But like a 2-cost Morgana will be doing essentially true damage to a carry. Then she restores health. Also, she's a Dazzler. So this is a good, like, because she's a Dazzler and her effect lasts for her effect lasts for a certain amount of time. Okay, so Dazzler spells reduce their target's AD by 50% for a few seconds. I'm assuming this works. Even if it doesn't work like this, it's still good. I'm assuming that because her spell continuously damages the enemy, that the Dazzler effect continuously goes off. If so, then she has a 10-second Dazzler effect at Dazzler. If that's not how it works, then it's not how it works, and it's wrong. But I don't know. She seems good. Good. One thing that I don't like is damage restored doesn't matter too much, I think, unless you're tanky. And once again, Enlighten kind of needs it at the higher bonus. Riven dashes. Okay, we have a normal Riven. Okay, so I think this makes Dusk all the worth it. Yeah. I'd have to like go back through and see what I can do with like Dusk Keeper to make Riven super useful. But essentially, Dusk with Riven will essentially make Riven Mage Riven or Sorcerer Riven from like what we have in the current set. And yeah, when you go Dusk, you're all inning on Riven. That is your carry. No one else on your team can reliably carry. I don't think. Sejuani, Fortune Vanguard. Once again, Fortune on the Vanguard, I'm okay with. Also, it's going to be sets off after a short delay. Enemies caught within it are dealt magic damage and are. Yeah, she seems like she's gonna. Old Sejuani was good. This Sejuani. Shen, okay, what do we got? Dashes, shielding himself against damage and taunting all adjacent enemies for debt. Makes so that people get less attack speed. And he shields himself. I think Shen is good. One thing that I don't like with Shen is that ninja bonus. Unless actually no, the ninja bonus would increase his shield value. Still not super, but he is an adept as well. I think he's pretty good. Good. Okay, and then Enlightened Assassin stabs his target. If this kills them, becomes unstoppable, untargetable, invulnerable while he leaps to the enemy who's done the most damage this round and Sure. Yeah. Yeah, make sure your Talon insta kills whoever he's hitting. Stack him with AD, and he will insta kill the enemy carry for you. Yeah, this seems strong. This is a 4-cost assassin carry. Floric gains attack speed, lifesteal, and moves faster for the rest of combat. While in this state, if Warwick scores a takedown, he howls. Apologies. He's strong. Divine Brawler Hunter, very, very strong. Because he's a hunter, Warwick scores a takedown, he howls, fearing all adjacent enemies for a few seconds. Hunter, that very easy to accomplish. Warwick seems very, very strong. This seems like this is very strong. Fine Brawler, these are all things that you like to see. Okay, 5-cost units. The big bads. Azir charges forward with a wall of soldiers, knocking back enemies hit and dealing magic damage. After their charge, the wall of soldier remains in placed in front of Azir for 3 seconds as impassable terrain. Any spearman from the general trait will accompany Azir for the charge. I'd have to see this. I don't fully understand what's going on with this. Azir himself, I mean, he's a 5-cost. He's going to be good. Warlord, Keeper, Emperor. Like, I mean, Emperor is just his special thing. But Keeper, if it stacks, is strong. Warlord, okay, enough. Oh, he seems okay. Ezreal, True Shot Barrage. Fires a barrage towards the enemy with the highest attack speed. Very strong. Heals allies it passes through. Strong. Granting them 50% attack speed. Very strong. Deals magic damage to enemies. And so oh my, this is huge. The one thing is that the damage isn't really there. And he is a Dazzler. Which, once again, inefficient, but it's fine. All of them have been inefficient with their things. But it's fine, I guess. No, slowing attack speed is really strong. Like, all of these things are things that you like to see. The heal values seem a little low, but honestly, I think it's fine. That heals and deals damage. Oh no, he seems strong, but he seems more like a support unit. Okay, Kane dashes towards a group of nearby enemies, slashing the circle around him, dealing magic damage. Or Darken, Kane restores 8% of damage dealt. If you are Shadow, Kane deals an additional % of his target smack. Okay, this is how I figured it. So you can have Bruiser Kane, or you can have Assassin Kane. I feel like Assassin Kane's better. The reason why I say Assassin Kane I feel like is better. Actually, nah. Depends how far he can dash with this ability, but Darken Kane feels better. Shadow Kane, or at least like, the problem is with the shade bonus, you're essentially an assassin. I don't like this. Like it just seems awkward. It seems awkward. His ability with the shade bonus seems very, very awkward. I think Darken longer because you heal for 80% of the damage that you deal, and you're hitting multiple enemies with it. Yeah, percent health damage, just 5% of somebody's health or 10% of somebody's health doesn't seem. Yeah, no, it just seems bad. Listen, punches his target. Yep. Dealing magic damage, knocking them back into the edge of the battlefield and stunning them for a few seconds. Enemies that they collide with are also damaged and stunned. As the target is already on the edge of the battlefield, they're removed from combat For 4 seconds. Oh yeah, he's broken. He's broken. Yep, this boy broken. This boy be broken. Lilia, Dusk Mage. Okay, you could also stack Lilia for Dusk, I guess. But 5 cost unit, not something that you want to gun for. Lilia casts a magical lullaby, causing waking enemies' highest current health to fall asleep for 5 seconds. Enemies will awaken if they take damage while sleeping, causing additional magic damage. Yeah, but you don't want to stack her. Having the mage bonus with Lilia, very strong. Yeah, okay, that's all that. Like, he seems strong. It's like Lulu. Set, okay, so Set does his things. Set grabs his target and slams him forward, dealing a percent of his target's maximum health. Right, so he grabs a tank and deals 30% of the tank's. Yeah. Super strong. In addition to everything else, super strong. Yon strikes forward, strikes along the path in front of him, dealing magic damage. Split between all enemies, hit, knocking them up. Enemies that are marked for death, reducing their armor and magic resist by 60%. Spells replaced with the Unforgotten until there are no remaining targets marked. Unforgotten, 20 mana. Yon dashes to the lowest. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Zillion. We won fight. Zillion places a protective time rune on the allies with the lowest health. Right, so Zillion ult. He's a cultist and a mystic. Cultist is kind of okay. Mystic is what you would really use him for. Zillion is still alive when the target finishes resurrecting. The time rune is not consumed. Is not consumed. Ah! You can use it on multiple allies. Yeah, it seems like a really strong support. Okay, let's get into new items. We got rid of the disarm item. Thank God, it was useless unless it was broken. Iron Will. The holder gains 25 armor and magic resist for each enemy targeting them. I love it. I love it. Sunfire. At the start of combat and every 3 seconds thereafter, a random enemy within 2 hexes is burned for 20% of the maximum health for 6 seconds. Healing. That seems strong. That seems very strong. Okay. Okay. Holder becomes a duelist. Okay. Holder gains the Elderwood. Holder becomes a mage. Holder becomes a Dusk. I can see this being super useful for like Dusk Mage. Holder gains a Divine trait. I can see that being super useful. Holder gains the Vanguard, whatever. Holder gains the Warlord. Yeah, like I said in the past, I can see that being useful. Holder becomes an Assassin. Whatever. I don't think Assassins seem that strong. I don't think the Assassin trait seems. The Holder basic attacks restore 8 mana on hit. Oh. Well, I actually like this new Spirit Sojourn. Okay. Removed items. Okay. Right, so now there's the new Chosen mechanics. This is an overview. Okay, that's everything. Oh my god, so much, man. I want to try. Like, Elderwood Nunu seems broken as all hell. Dusk Ribbon, super cool. Like, Elderwood with the Mage seems cool. Spirit Hunters, I think, is pretty cool. Spirit Sharpshooter seems interesting as well. Moonlight seems pretty cool. Assassin seems pretty bad outside of Talon and Katarina, to be honest. I need to find a good way to make Fortune viable. Also, the Jinx Sharpshooter thing would be good if the X off. Yeah, Divine seems. All of it seems cool. And like I said, Keeper might be broken. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This was a long ass video. Holy shit, an hour and a half. Um, but yeah, hopefully I have this up tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning. And if you somehow made it through this whole fucking video, goddamn, you're a legend. I'll be streaming on Twitch, CW5136. Twitch.tv says CW5136. I'm very tired. I'm done talking. Thanks for watching.